Guy on Radio, I'm Ken, and today we have another Star Wars Armada battle report. It's a condensed version, as this is match 2 of our Monster Madness series. Today we're going to see the Empire face off against, well, the Empire. Two fleets today we have General Tagge, brought to you by Tupperbuz, and Admiral Motti, brought to you by Skaal. We're going to see 4 Imperial Star Destroyers on the board, mostly Kuats, but we're going to have some fun with this. As usual in the Monster Madness series, I will play out the first game. We're going to see that presented through film and video, and the second game will be from Ed HC, who's the designer of the robot that is playing all the fleets in the series. So let's get right to these two fleets, and then to the action.
Coming in at 299 points, we have an Imperial list brought to you by Skaal. This list has Admiral Motti as the commander. It's on an ISD Simoon 1 refit with Intel Officer and Link Turbo Laser Towers. There is an ISD Kuat refit with Emperor Palpatine, Ordnance Experts, and Assault Proton Torpedoes. Final combat ship is a Gazanti Cruiser Flotilla with Darth Vader and Comsnet. Coming in at 297 points, we have a General Tagge list brought to us by Tupperbuz. General Tagge is on an ISD Kuat refit with Commander Vanto, local fire control, flak guns, electronic countermeasures, and ordnance pods. There is a second ISD Kuat refit with Wolf Yularen, local fire control, flak guns, electronic countermeasures, and ordnance pods. General Tagge's fleet came in with a larger bid, and the robot makes it choose first. Following objectives are what it has to choose from: advanced gunnery, contested outpost, and solar corona. In this particular scenario, meeting up against additional ISDs, General Tagge has chosen solar corona. So here we are, round 1. On the left-hand side of the screen, Motti is set up. So Motti is on board what looks to be the Chimera. Palpatine's ISD, a little bit further forward, looking to make the first strike. And then there are the Gazanti cruisers on the left flank, kind of hiding behind, intending to support Motti. On the right side of the screen, we have the 2 Star Destroyers in General Tagge's fleet. Tagge will be the one on the upper portion, and Yularen will be on the lower set. All ships are moving at speed 2. You can see at the upper portion of the screen is where the solar corona is set up. At the end of turn 1, no damage scored. All that really happened, all the ships moved forward. See some angling on the Star Destroyers for Tagge's fleet, predominantly to go after Admiral Motti. Now into turn 2 proper. First shot will be a long range from General Tagge to Admiral Motti. After the shot is made, 2 damage winds up going through after the brace is still used, and a redirect, reducing that port side shield to 1. One thing of note here, when General Tagge moves forward, his ship just narrowly avoids ramming into that asteroid field. The return shots from Motti into Tagge do significantly more damage. The initial pool of 9 damage, it winds up getting braced down to 5, eliminating the starboard shields after the redirected, and the 4 is down to 2. This is not without a salvo, though. Salvo comes back in, damaging the starboard and the 4 shields. Movement puts us into close contact, and this is going to be a brawl in the next turn. Emperor Palpatine's Star Destroyer fires at Colonel Yularen. This attack is redirected to the starboard side, doing only 2 damage after braces are used. Turn 3, Star Destroyers are now all pretty much at close range, the Gazanti hanging out in the back corner. First shot is going to be from Colonel Yularen's ISD into Admiral Motti's. This is a close range shot, doing 7 initial damage. After the redirect is used, starboard and the 4 shields are completely gone, doing 3 damage to the hull. Secondary shot out the port side into a Palpatine's ship will do 1 damage that's redirected off to the starboard side. This does move the Yularen's ISD into a rather precarious situation between the 2 Star Destroyers. Gazanti winds up making an attack out at the side of the Star Destroyer. That shot includes nothing but an accuracy. Solar Corona takes care of that. General Tagge activates his Star Destroyer next, regenerating many of his shields, giving him 4 up on front. His first strike is against Motti. 8 damage are done. The contain is now gone. Portside shields go down to 0, and there are now 6 direct hits to the hull. In an attempt to take out that Gazanti that's feeding tokens, a shot is fired into the Gazanti, doing 5 damage, no accuracies, and the entire salvo is scattered away. Before ending the activation, General Tagge does ram into Admiral Motti, doing another damage to both ships. Prior to being destroyed, Admiral Motti decides to fire a couple shots into his opposing Star Destroyers. First shot goes into Colonel Yularen's ISD. 8 total damage is done, and the brace token is intelled. The salvo is also accuracy. Making a hard decision, Yularen decides to spend the brace and ECM the salvo. This brings the entire hit down to 4, and redirecting one of the hits to the right-hand side, bringing the front shield down to 1 and the starboard shield down to 0. No hull damage. That salvo, however, fires back, doing 5 damage. It is redirected, and it completely eliminates all shields on Motti's ISD. It is now down 8 hull points. It does wind up also getting a crit for blinded gunners. Keeping in mind that with Admiral Motti on the board, both ISDs have an extra 3 hull points, he fires back at Colonel Yularen out the side, doing 4 damage. Prior to the end of his activation, he winds up ramming Tagge once again, bringing him to 2 hull hits plus 3, so 5, and General Tagge having only 2 damage to its hull. Moving to the opposite side of the fight, Emperor Palpatine fires 2 shots into Yularen's ship. First is from the front, doing 8 points of damage. Black dice show up with the critical, bringing in an assault proton torpedo hit. Disengaged fire control comes up, and the portside shields are completely depleted, as are the forward shields. 6 damage have now been done to Yularen's ISD. Second shot is from Palpatine's side into the front of Yularen. An additional 4 damage are done. Some of that is redirected, leaving only 2 shields on the rear. Critical is scored, faulty countermeasures. Yularen's ISD now only has 2 hull left. After skillfully moving around, we can see these Star Destroyers are now all very much entangled, although Admiral Motti is now in really poor positioning in both of the opposing Star Destroyers' forward arcs. Top of turn 4, let's go ahead and review where all the ships sit. General Tagge is down 2 hull. Colonel Yularen is down 9 hull and is missing a brace and a redirect. On the opposite side, Admiral Motti is down 8 hull hits, missing a redirect and a contain, and Emperor Palpatine's ship has only shield damage. Turn 4 opens up with Yularen firing up against Motti. 8 damage are done. That is braced down to 4, leaving 13 hits on Motti's ship. 14 is what it's going to take it out. Another hit will kill it. Yularen takes another shot into the front of Motti's Star Destroyer, destroying it. That first shot into Yularen using a concentrate fire dial, adding extra dice. Because of Solar Corona, only 1 damage is done. Yularen is now down on 1 health. Salvoing back, damage is scored, knocking the rear shields out. Unable to attack Yularen's Star Destroyer a second time, Palpatine targets Tagge's ship. firing from its front into the side at long range. 3 damage is braced down to 2, and a salvo is returned back, no damage. For movement, General Tagg's ship is able to just narrowly avoid ramming Ularans, allowing Ularan to stay alive another turn. However, landing on that asteroid field with the crit pulled is, of course, a structural damage. At the end of round 4, we're now in a position where Palpatine has some shots at the rear side of Tagge, but does not have a good shot into Colonel Yularan's Star Destroyer. This is going to be difficult to see if it can maneuver itself in a way to take that Star Destroyer out. Unfortunately, looking at the board, as things are moved, all shots are able to be effectively neutralized due to positioning and range. So this game ends after 6 turns with no additional ships being destroyed. Here we are in the second matchup. Once again, Tagge chooses first and Motti goes second, and Solar Corona is the objective picked. So from the images you see, General Tagge is on the top of the screen and Admiral Motti is at the bottom. Solar Corona will be on the right hand side of the screen. Moving into turn 2, ships move forward, really nothing else other than some level of positioning. Going into turn 3, we are now going to start combat. Although a few shots are exchanged, nothing of significant damage occurs. Start of round 4, shots have been exchanged. Palpatine's ISD has managed to dodge most of the ISD's arc on the bottom of the screen. Positioning of the ships has effectively pulled Yularan out of the fight, allowing both Motti's Star Destroyers to go after General Tagge. And during the activation of Motti's Star Destroyer, enough damage is done to take out General Tagge's Star Destroyer. As an unfortunate side effect, though, Motti's Star Destroyer is incapable of jumping over the Gazanti flotilla, ramming it, staying where it's at, and killing that Gazanti. Going into round 5, as you can see, there are 3 Star Destroyers left on the table. And this game winds up ending very much like the prior one, where although there's some shots exchanged, most of it is outside arcs, very little in the front, and not enough damage is able to be scored to do any significant damage to destroy one of the opposing Star Destroyers. At the end of the game, best bet here is for Yularan to skip off into the corner to completely avoid being destroyed.
Alright, so that was 2 rather crazy and wild games with just a few ships that were actually taken out. And our first flip where we split the series between 1 win on each commander. So let's go ahead and review the scores. In Game 1, General Tagge winds up winning by 150 points by taking out Motti's Imperial Star Destroyer. Looking at the score for Game 2, Motti winds up winning this one by 135 points. Difference here being the Gazanti destroyed on Motti's side, reducing his total MOV. Because both commanders won 1 match, we go to MOV. Combined MOV, General Tagge winds up winning by 15 points. So congratulations are in order for tupperbuz and your General Tagge list. You are moving on. Skaal, we really appreciate your fleet. I enjoyed flying the Motti one, watching the robot fly it anyways. And thanks so much for participating and becoming a part of Madness. In this game, like I mentioned, the difference wound up being 1 Gazanti. And in Game 1, we're 1 hull hit away from Yularan's ISD being taken out. So Motti came very, very close to victory, and 15 points for margin of victory over 2 games. That's not a lot. So very competitive fleets. I'm curious to see how well Tagge's fleet does moving on. Stay tuned next week where we move into the Clone Wars. We're going to have 4 Venators on the table. Both these fleets will be from Bail Organa by Ed H.C., the robot designer, and Admiral Tarkin, presented by Scott Parker. Alright, if you enjoyed the smaller format video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Big thank you to all of our patrons for supporting the channel. We really appreciate your support. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And of course, you can come join our Discord channel where you can talk to me and John, as well as Ed HC, who is the designer of the robot. Till next time, I'm Ken, and this is Ion Radio.